Hi, my name's Dan, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a new project in the Unreal Studio. So I've launched the Unreal Wizards. If you just installed Unreal, you need to click on launching the wizard from the Epic Games launcher. I have some projects in here that are recent projects, but if this is your first time, then you probably don't have these recent projects up here. But you should have these new project categories down below. And the one that you're probably going to want is the top one, which is games. So we're going to click that. We're going to keep going through the wizard. This is all actually pretty straightforward stuff, so it shouldn't be too complicated. So the next thing that you've got is a choice of template, and Unreal will give you some content and some context depending on which one of these that you choose. So the first one of these is a blank, which is just got a platform in it, and actually there's a second world in it with some example objects in it, potentially. You can have a first-person template, which allows you to create something that looks a little bit like a first-person shooter. You've got a very basic environment there. There's a flying template. You can look at the information on these. There's a puzzle kind of game template. There's a rolling, which is a physics based game template. There's the third-person template, which is the one that I often use for experimentation. It's quite a common one to use. I'll just quickly flick through the rest of the top-down template. Twin stick shooter, handheld AR, so that's artificial reality. Side scroller, 2D side scroller, vehicle, VR, and an advanced vehicle one. So I'm going to go and use the third-person template and click next. Here we go. So the next set of choices here are to do with what kind of project we're going to want this to be. So the first one is a choice of whether we're going to use C++ or blueprint scripting. And by default, it gives you the blueprint scripting, a visual scripting system, so we'll stick with that. But there's the choices. And the second one is graphical quality, and we're going to choose maximum quality, because why not? The third one is whether you want ray tracing. We're not going to bother with that at the moment. This next one is what's the target platform that you're creating your project for, and for just getting used to Unreal, normally you want the desktop console, but there are other choices obviously there. And then the final one is with or without starter content, and if you select the starter content, which is what's there by default at the moment, then this will give you a set of standard assets that you can use to build your levels with. You're going to want to go beyond those assets once you've got any kind of depth going in your Unreal projects, but they're a really good starter set of stuff for learning and for tutorials, and for, if you just want to mess about and get used to Unreal. It's not a bad set of stuff. So finally, just down here at the bottom, it's going to ask you for a location for your project to be stored. I've got a folder there for all my Unreal projects, so it's brought this up by default. And a name, and I'm going to put a name in here. I'm going to call it First Project, because that's kind of traditional. I know it's not my first project. And then I'm going to click Create Project. And it's going to do a little bit of thinking. It's going to bring up a splash screen. You might find that if you think that it's not doing anything, that if you've got other windows open, that splash screen has actually hidden itself behind other windows. So often it's active and you think there's nothing going on. And also this percentage bar that we have here tends to get stuck at various points. Don't worry, just give it some time. I've got a reasonably fast computer here, so that's actually gone through this percentage pretty quickly. How that does will depend on your computer. So 91% is a percentage at which it very often stops and pauses for a while. And then here we are, it's brought up the project. So we're going to talk more about what you can do in the projects and all sorts of stuff that you can do in the next video and in all the rest of the videos to come. There's a whole series of these being planned. So that's it from me for now.